is a combination of both section B as well as section C. We are given sales units, we are given selling price per unit, raw material quantity is given to us, then we are given what and all? Price of raw material per kg, direct labor hours per unit, wage rate per hour, variable overheads, and what? Fixed overheads are given to us. We have to find out what is the budgeted profit. Profit for this budget and profit for this actual output. Reconcile means analyze the reason for difference into these variances. Selling price variance, sales volume variance means the quantity variance. Because of the quantity, what is the variance? Because of the quantity, what is the variance? Because of material price, what is the variance? Usage, what is the variance? Labor, what is the rate variance? Efficiency variance, variable overhead variance, and what? Fixed overhead variance. That we will go to that later. First, for this question, I request you to prepare the budget and actual for this 80,000 units and 64,000 units in this format. You are going to try to work out. Tell me your answer for the budgeted profit, actual profit, then let me to go ahead with my workings. So prepare the budget for 80,000 units, actual for 64,000 units. You will get the profit. Any answer, please? What is the selling price per unit?
100 से 110.
Raw material cost. Raw material cost 5 kg into 8 rupees. Raw material cost is 5 into 8, 40. 40 per unit. This one 5.6 into 7.5. 5.6 into 7.5 will be 42. So for the budget, we'll multiply 8,000 into 40. 80,000 into 40. This one will be 64,000 into 42. Wages, we are given 1 hour into 20. Actuals are 0.8 hours into 22. 0.8 hours into 22. So when you work out budget total, 80,000 into 20, actual total 64,000 into 17.6. Variable overheads, it's given per hour. So variable overheads per unit is given. Directly we can take 5 and 4.8. If it is given per hour, you have to multiply with number of hours also. It's given per unit only. Fixed overheads are given 10 rupees per unit and 9.6 per unit. So you'll get the budgeted total cost. Actual total cost. Sales is given 80,000 units into what is this? Okay, what is the total cost?
75, sir.
75. Sales, what is the selling price given? 100. Actual is 100. So profit is the difference between sales and cost. So there is a difference between budgeted profit and which one? Actual profit, which we are going to analyze into different types of variances that they ask for. It's a simple one. The data given, we present in a particular way. That's it. Any doubt in it? Any doubt in it? So you want to see why the profit has changed from 20 lakh to 23 lakh 4,000. You can find everything has changed. Like cost of material, labor, overheads, sales has changed. Because of that, what has changed? The profit has changed. So which they've asked you to analyze. They ask you to analyze into different types of variances. Different types of variances. What is the variance? Price variance, volume variance, mix usage, labor rate variance, like that. They ask you to analyze and reconcile. First, which variance they ask for? Sales price variance, then sales volume variance. How to work out sales price variance? Have we copied this? Is the copy pantingla? We'll proceed with first which one? Sales variances. Sales price variance. There are two methods of working. One is normally you can work out. We can observe what is the sales price variance? Simple, actual quantity. Actual quantity multiplied with actual price minus standard price. What is actual quantity sold? 64,000 multiplied with what is actual selling price? What is actual selling price? 110 minus what is the standard price? 100. Okay, 64,000 into 110 minus 100. By observation, you can say we sold for more price than the standard price or budgeted price. Actual price minus budgeted price. This is favorable. This is which variance? Sales price variance. Any doubt in price variance? 1 minute. Second variance, they ask you to work out which variance? Volume variance. Volume variance arises because of which one? Quantity. Volume variance arises because of the quantity. Simple. Take the actual quantity minus budgeted quantity into standard price, into budgeted price. See, what is actual quantity sold? What is actual quantity sold? 64,000. But we prepared a budget for 80,000 quantity into what is the budgeted price? 25. This will give us which variance? Because of the volume, what is the variance? Definitely we can see actual quantity sold is lesser than the budgeted quantity. Actual quantity sold is lesser than the budgeted quantity. This we can call it as which variance? Unfavorable variance. Unfavorable variance. Price was more, actual price was more than the standard price, so favorable. Actual quantity is less than which quantity? Budgeted quantity. So we sold less, so it is unfavorable. It is unfavorable. Because of the price, we may have some advantage, but because of the quantity, there is a disadvantage. Means, we have not sold the required quantity. We have not sold the required quantity. Like this, I request you to work out the remaining two variances. Which variance? Material price variance, usage variance. Try to work out. Data is available already in the question. Material price variance and which one? Usage variance, I request you to work out. Can you tell me what is the price variance?
Minus 6,40,000, sir.
Okay. We want actual quantity used multiplied with which one? Actual price minus standard price. Just write favorable or unfavorable. Okay. What is actual quantity used? 64,000 into actual price is 42, standard price is 40. We spent more. Spending more is favorable or unfavorable?
Unfavorable.
No, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. If you look at actual quantity used, uh, quantity used, what is actual quantity used? 5.6 kg, right? Okay, there is a mistake in calculation. I got 64,000 into what is the quantity used? 5.6 into what is actual price? What is actual price? 8 minus 64,000 into what is the actual quantity used? 5.6. This, okay. Actual price is 7.5, right? Actual price is 7.5. This into 8. Like this we have to work out. Don't see the, output. See the quantity of material used. See the quantity of material used. Okay. So actual quantity of raw material used, not output. We are working out only for raw material, right? So actual quantity of raw material used is nothing but 64,000 into 5.6. Because we are working out not the total product variance, only the raw material variance. So this multiplied with actual price minus standard price. Actual price is how much? 7.5. Standard price is how much? 8. Standard price is 8. Now work out. Is it favorable or unfavorable? Actual price is less than the standard price. So it is favorable. What is the next one they ask for? Material usage variance. Because of usage, what is the variance? Because of the usage, what is the variance? Simple. Actual quantity used minus standard quantity allowed, or standard quantity to be used, into standard price. Okay, what is actual quantity used? What is actual quantity that is used? 64,000 into 5.6. That is actual quantity used. Minus, what is the standard quantity allowed for this 64,000? What is the standard quantity allowed? 5. Multiplied with standard price. Multiplied with standard price. What is the standard price of the material? What is the standard price of the material? 8 rupees. So what is actual quantity used? 64,000 into 5.6. This is actual quantity used. This is the allowed quantity. For this output, this is allowed quantity. The difference into 8. We can find actual quantity is used more than the standard quantity. So this is unfavorable. This is unfavorable. So material price variance, material usage variance. Actual quantity allowed for this minus standard quantity allowed for this. Okay, actual quantity we used more than the standard quantity. Because of usage, we have got unfavorable variance. Extra usage, extra cost, unfavorable variance. Price wise, we got favorable variance, but usage wise, we got which one? Unfavorable variance. What is the next variance they ask for? Labor rate variance. Labor rate variance. Oh, they want rate variance. Actual hours into actual rate minus standard rate. What is the actual hours? How many hours? 64,000 into 0.8. Okay. What is the rate per hour allowed? What is the rate per allowed? Actual rate allowed. What is the actual rate given? 22. Standard rate is 20. We spent more. Actual payment is made more than the standard payment. Is it favorable or unfavorable? Unfavorable. We paid more rate than the standard rate. We paid more rate than the standard rate, so it is unfavorable variance. What is the next one they ask for? Labor efficiency variance. See, efficiency is to do with, are you able to produce within the given time? Are you able to produce within the given time? Simple. Actual hours taken minus what is the standard hours allowed for this actual output, multiplied with standard rate. Actual hours are nothing but 64,000 into 0.8. This is the actually allowed hour, actually taken hours. 64,000 into 0.8. Standard hours allowed. How many hours allowed? How many hours allowed? 64,000 into 1 hour allowed. You can see hours allowed is 1 hour. So 64,000 hours allowed. Simple. Workers can complete the production in 64,000 hours, but they completed in 51,200 hours multiplied with standard rate. So they completed in lesser hours. They completed in lesser hours. So difference, is it positive variance or negative variance? Is it favorable variance or unfavorable variance? Actual hours taken is less than the allowed hours. Workers are efficient or inefficient? Workers are efficient. It is favorable variance. So rate wise there may be unfavorable variance. Efficiency wise there is a favorable variance. Efficiency wise there is a favorable variance. This is about labor efficiency variance. Next, what do they ask you? Variable overhead variance. I hope they ask you variable overhead variance. Variable overhead variance directly we can work. What is a variable overhead variance? Simple. Actual variable overheads minus standard variable overheads.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, in labor rate variance, you did only 64,000 into 0.8 and without that actual rate minus standard rate.
Oh, 64,000 into 0.8 into 2. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So variable overhead variance, actual variable overheads minus standard variable overheads for the actual output. This into standard rate. This into standard rate. What is the actual variable overheads? Or what is actual variable overheads? We spent 64,000 into 4.8. 64,000 into 4.8. What is allowed for this? 64,000 into 5. This is actually spent, this is allowed. So favorable or unfavorable? Favorable. We spent less. When you spent less or when you spend less, it is favorable or unfavorable? Favorable. Actual variable overheads minus standard variable overheads for actual output. This is variable overhead variance. Then same. Actual fixed overheads are, it's given 64,000 into, what is a fixed overheads actual? 9.6. Standard fixed overheads for the actual output. What is the standard fixed overheads? 10 rupees for the actual output. This is also allowed is more than what is spent. So it is also favorable variance. Okay, we worked out sales price variance, sales volume variance, material price variance, material usage variance, labor rate variance, labor efficiency variance, variable overhead variance, and which one? Fixed overhead variance as we worked out. Shall we? Now we'll go for reconciliation. What do you mean by reconciliation? Simple. Budget profit after adjusting variances, etc., it should come to actual profit. Listen, now keep telling me, you can copy this later. Have you taken up this fixed overhead variances, variable overhead variances? I'm going slow because it is a combination of two chapters, so I'm going very, very slow. We'll see now reconciliation. Budget profit, budgeted profit. What is the total budgeted profit that we worked out? 20 lakhs. Simple. Favorable variances will increase your profit. Favorable variances will increase your profit. Less adverse variances. Why? Because it will reduce your profit. Adverse variances, either more cost is spent or lesser revenue is attained, it will reduce your profit or loss. Look at the favorable variances. Sales price variance favorable. How much favorable? 6 lakhs 40,000. Then sales margin volume variance is unfavorable. Volume wise, we have got negative. How much negative variance? 4 lakhs. Then tell me the other variances. Material, which variance is positive, which variance is negative? Material price variance is favorable. Usage variance is what? Unfavorable. What is the material price variance favorable? 179,200. Then usage wise, we used more. Material usage variance. How much material usage variance? 3,07,200. Then what is the next one? Labor, rate variance unfavorable, efficiency variance favorable. Rate variance unfavorable, efficiency variance favorable. Labor efficiency variance, I go 2,56,000 favorable. Labor rate variance is unfavorable. Labor rate variance is which one? Unfavorable. What is the labor rate variance? 102, 400. Unfavorable. Then we can find variable overhead variance is favorable. Fixed overhead variance is also favorable. Variable overhead variance is favorable. 12,800. Fixed overhead variance. Fixed overhead variance is how much? 25,600. So add up all the favorable variances minus all adverse variances. Adverse variances reduces our profit. Minus it. You should get actual profit. You should get which one? Actual profit. This is called as performance reporting. Why budgeted profit is not coming to actual profit? Because of the variances. What are the variances? We report to the top management, and top management take necessary action for correcting the variances. It should give us which one? Actual profit. Are you getting actual profit? Yes. You can see actual profit. Budget profit is not matching with actual profit. It may be more or less. Budgeted profit may be less, actual profit may be more, or it can be otherwise. Okay. But we reconcile the reason for increase in profit, reason for reduction in profit, why the actual profit is different from which profit? Budget profit. We report to the top management, and the top management takes care of taking corrective actions. Okay, wherever there is a corrective action, material or labor or overheads, that concerned department will be called for an action. You will make corrections. You will make corrections where in the future the variances can be minimized. Minimum variances can be what? Minimized. Here, major contributory is price variance. Major contributory is what? Price variance. All other variances are contributing to positive and negative. But because of the price, we got this much. Suppose if there was no price variance, then actual profit would have been lesser than budgeted profit. We sold for a higher price. Selling price was more. That's why we got a positive variance. Otherwise, your budgeted profit would have been more than which profit? Actual profit. Otherwise, you would not have adjusted, attained the target. So take up this. Remember, this can be worked out in an alternative way. We have done M2, M1, M2, M3, M4 model, right? That model also you can do. That answer I will share it along with the material, or I shared along with the material. You can find SM1, SM2, SM4 like that. It is worked out. It is in the classroom style. It is in the classroom style. It is worked out. Okay, this is an alternative method of working. You require the knowledge of both the methods. So I request you to take up this now. Any doubt in this, please unmute and ask me. I'll go one by one. I'll wait. If there is a doubt, let me answer. Any doubt in price variance? Actual quantity 64,000. We sold for more price than the budgeted price. When you sell for more price, is it favorable or unfavorable? Favorable. Volume 64,000 only we sold, but we planned for 84,000. So unfavorable. Price variance, you can find actual quantity of raw material used, into actual price paid is less than the standard price. We paid less price, it's material cost. Okay, we paid less price than the standard price, favorable variance. Usage 64,000 into 5.6, this much we used, but allowed is only 3,20,000. So there is an unfavorable variance because of the usage. We used more. Labor rate, we spent more, so unfavorable. Labor efficiency 64,000 into 0.8, 51,200 hours they should have taken. Okay, they have taken, actually they have taken 51,200 hours. Actual hours taken. This is the standard hours allowed. For every one product, 1 hour is allowed. So they can take more time. Otherwise, they produced in lesser time means their efficiency is what? More. More than the expectation, efficiency is more. Otherwise, they have taken lesser hours. So favorable variance. Variable overheads, this is what we spent, this is what is allowed. So favorable variance. Fixed overhead variance. Actual overheads, this is what we spent, this is what is allowed per unit. So favorable variance. So budgeted profit after reconciliation, we get actual profit. This statement is presented to the top management for further analysis, further investigation. Why material price variance is positive? Why did they use more quantity? Why they are not able to attain the sales volume? For example, we are not able to sell the budgeted quantity. Budgeted quantity was 80,000, but we are able to sell only 64,000. Why there is a reduction in sales volume? Why the sales team is not able to achieve? The questions will be asked. They will answer. See, you can find price is more. The standard price is like 100 rupees, but we sold for 110. We sold for how much? 110. General theory is that when you increase the price, demand will fall. When you increase the price, demand will fall. Okay. So that's why demand would have fallen from 80,000 to 64,000. And sales team will explain, okay, see, because of price, we got extra 6 lakhs 40,000. Because of quantity, we lost 4 lakhs. Anyhow, we got positive only. They can respond to that like that. They can ask you, with material management team will say price variance is positive, that is good, but why did you use more quantity? Why did you use more quantity? Production department should explain that. Why did they consume more quantity than the allowed quantity? Because they lost, a company loses 3,07,200. Why are you using more quantity? It may be wastage, or it can be improper handling of material, or it may be wrong budgeting also. You prepare a wrong budget, what to do? You prepared a budget with, for example, raw material 5 kg, but we used 5.6 kg. Maybe quality of the raw material is poor, we have to consume more. Quality of the raw material is poor, we have to consume more. Or the planning itself was wrong. We cannot reduce below 5.6 kg. Like that, they may explain. The material or production department will explain. Labor, no problem. Efficiency wise, the workers are doing good, but rate we paid more. That has to be explained. Why are you paying more rate? Maybe the HR department would say, yes, sir, we pay more rate, their efficiency is more. We pay more rate so that the efficiency is more. The management will argue, though you pay more rate, it is not showing in efficiency. Because of efficiency extra, we saved 12,500, but you paid 1,02,400. What is paid, we are not taking back. So the management may argue or do that. Labor efficiency versus labor rate. Okay, here, sorry. Labor efficiency is more than what? Labor rate. So no problem here. You paid more rate, so they are more efficient, no problem. Suppose if it is otherwise, the management will ask question. Variable overheads and fixed overheads we used effectively, it is positive, no problem. So this is present to the top management, and top management analyzes the variances further. Analyze the variances further. Have we taken up this overall? So for solving this chapter, knowledge of both section B as well as what? Section C is required. ரெண்டு knowledge இருந்தால் தான் you can do what? Complete budgeted profit, actual profit we can work out. For that, budgeting knowledge is required. Variance knowledge, all the variances, material, labor, overhead variances knowledge is required for doing this. This is asked in essay type questions. We'll go for the next question. I'll share this, of course, material also. This material will have the style in which we worked out in the class. SM1, SM2, SM3, SM4, M1, M2, M3, M4 model we would have followed. That method solution will be there. Okay, the same answer will come. Same answer will come. Let it be logical working or M1, M2, M2, the M3 model, the same working will come. Now what I request is, you are going to work out for this question. We are given, master budget is given, actual is given, variance is given to us. The question is, they ask you to prepare a flexible budget and compare with which one? Actual results. Do they ask you to go with budget already available or flexible budget? Flexible budget means you have to prepare the budget for the actual. You have to prepare the budget for the actual. So the budget is given for 10,000 units. They ask you to prepare budget for what? 9,000 units. They ask you to prepare budget for 9,000 units. Then they ask you to compare with actual results. Then we'll do variance analysis. We'll do which one? Variance analysis. So first you do flexible budget. Prepare a flexible budget. Maybe in a columnar format, like budget for 10,000 units. Then budget for flexible budget for how many units? Okay, they've given actual. Okay, preparing a budget for actual production. Prepare a budget for how many units? 9,000 units. Then see the variance. Okay, take the actual for 9,000 units. Then they ask you to work out what is the variance and analyze the variances. So budget is given for 10,000 units. You prepare the budget for 9,000 units. See the actual results for 9,000 units that is given to us in the question itself. Then compare and find out which one? Variance. Try பண்ணுங்க பார்க்கலாம். You are going to try. Direct material is 1 kg at the rate of $1 per kg. 1 kg at the rate of $1 per kg. Wage rate is 1 hour at the rate of 1.5 per hour. Variable overheads 1 hour at the rate of 50 paise. Actual results showed 9,800 kg of material is used. It's not 9.8 kg. How many kg? 9,800 kilograms of material is used and 8,800 labor hours were recorded. So prepare the budget for 9,000 units, then see the variance. You work out and tell me the for budget for 9,000 units. For that budget, what is the profit? For that budget, what is the profit? This instruction is for recorded class students. I do not want to give an empty video. So I request you to pause and solve the flexible budget. Prepare the budget for 9,000 units and compare the actual results. Last question, they didn't ask it. So we prepared a budget for 80,000 units and compared with actual results. But in this question, they ask you very clearly, prepare a flexible budget and compare with which one? Actual results. What is the sales given? Given for 10,000 units. Sales given for 10,000 units is 40,000. 40,000, which means per unit $40,000 divided by 10,000, it is $4 per unit. For 9,000 units, simple, 9,000 into 4. Compare this with actual 9,000. What is actual 9,000? 35,000. Variance is 1,000 adverse. It is flexible budget variance. You can say unfavorable. Because for 9,000 units, the sales should have been 36,000, but actual is only what? 35,000, means we have not attained the sales. It is unfavorable. Then direct material. Direct material, how much is given? 10,000. It is given 10,000, which means 1 rupee per unit. 1 rupee per unit. That is, sorry, $1 per unit. That is what is given over here also. $1 per unit. That is also given over here. So 30, I mean, if it is 10,000 units to 10,000, now what is for 9,000 units? 9,000 should have been the cost. What is actual for 9,000? We spent 9,200. 9,200. It is 200 unfavorable variance. Unfavorable variance. This is called as flexible budget variances. This variance, whatever we work out, is not a static budget variance. It is called as which one? Flexible budget variance. Okay, direct material we worked out. Direct labor. Direct labor, what is given? 15,000, nothing but 1.5 per unit. So when you work out 9,000 into 1.5, what is actual for that? What is actual given for that wages? 13,100. So we spent less, 400 favorable. 400 favorable. Direct labor. Variable overhead variance. Variable overhead variance. It's given 0.5 per unit. That is, what is that? 5,000. 0.5. For 9,000, it will be 4,500. 9,000 into 0.5, 4,500. What is the actual amount spent? 4,700. So 200 unfavorable. 200 unfavorable. What is the next one? Fixed overheads. Fixed overheads. Total is how much? 5,000. 5,000. 0.5. For 9,000 units, what will be the fixed overheads? Don't say 9,000 into 0.5. Okay, fixed overheads will remain the same. Fixed overheads, it will remain what? The same. It will not change with output. So fixed overheads is a fixed cost, right? 4,900. So we spent less, 100 favorable. So sales is there. Sales is there. Total cost you add up. So sales minus total cost will give us what? Profit. Sales minus the total cost will give us profit. Based on 10,000 units, what is the profit? Based on this, what is the profit? And of course, based on this, what is the profit? So profit based on flexible budget, 4,000 should have been the profit, but we got 9,000, means what is the profit? 900 unfavorable. This is flexible budget variance, not a fixed budget variance. If it is a fixed budget variance, static budget variance, you have to see budget profit for 10,000 units, that is 5,000, then actual profit for that 9,000 units. This we call it as total variance. Sorry, this is called as which one? Total variance. This is known as which variance? Total variance. What is the total variance? 1,900 is the total variance, which is unfavorable. Why this unfavorable variance comes? Because of the static budget variance. This is also known as which variance? Volume variance. What do you mean by volume variance? Because of the output. Because of the output, if the variance comes, that is called as which one? Volume variance. So how to verify this, sir? Simple. For 10,000 units budget, what is the profit? Budgeted is 5,000. And 9,000 units is how much? 4,000. So because of the volume, that is output, variance is how much? 1,000 unfavorable. Okay, because of the volume or output, the variance is unfavorable by 1,000. So out of 1,900, the variance 1,000 arises because of the budget. Sir, we prepared or we targeted 10,000 units, we sold only 9,000 units. So there is a variation of 1,000 units. Because of that, the profit changed by 1,000. That is called as volume variance. Because of the volume, 1,000 we got lost. And flexible budget variance. Flexible budget variance, simple. Profit for 9,000 units minus actual profit. Budgeted profit for 9,000 minus which one? Actual. This will give us flexible budget variance. That is 4,000 minus 3,100. What is it? 900 unfavorable. That is why this is unfavorable. Okay, so we are not able to sell the targeted output. So because of the budget or volume, 1,000 unfavorable, and for the 9,000 itself, actual results are compared. Flexible budget wise, there is a variance of 900. That's why the total variance comes. This we have done in the budgeting chapter, and thereafter while starting variance analysis also. Now what I request is work out the variances that we have done earlier. What are the variances we have done? For the previous question, what are the variances we have done? Sales price variance. Sales which variance? Price variance you do. Then sales volume variance also you can do. Sales volume variance also you can do. Okay. Then you can do price variance, usage variance, rate variance, efficiency variance. Some extra variances we need to work out, but before that I request you to copy this, then we will proceed. I'll work out, nothing to worry, I'll work out. Okay, so I request you to copy this first, then we'll proceed. Actually, whatever we are doing is one chapter in one question. Section B and section C put together in what? One question we are doing. That is why it is taking a lot of time. In the examination, will they go this much? Will they go this much? No. I already shared essay type question for section B and C. Okay, or all the essay type questions I've shared. You can go through section B and section C. In this, they will test one or two parts. They will test only one or two parts. They will not test all the parts. Then why are we working out all the parts? Only then you should be, or you will be able to understand, okay, the crux of the chapter. There is a budget, there is an actual, there is a variance, which we analyze the variance and report to the top management. Here, since the output is less than the expected, there is a variance. Within the output, okay, we have spent more or less for the given output, so there is a variance. So total variance is how much? 1,900 unfavorable. Have you tried price variance? Material, price variance, usage variance, we can work out first. Upper sales variance, let me do. Actual quantity of raw material used into actual price minus standard price. What is actual quantity of raw material used? What is actual quantity of raw material used? $9,200 is given to us in the question. What would have been the standard cost of material used for this 9,000 units? For this 9,000 units. Okay, wait. Sorry. The standard cost is, look at this. Actual cost of material used is how much? Actual results. 9,000 kilogram of raw material is used. Okay, we can directly take that. 9,800 quantity of raw material is used, multiplied with actual price minus standard price. Actual price minus standard price. What is the actual price? Actual price is 9,200 is for 9,800. Actual price is 9,200 is for 9,800 minus standard price is given in the question. What is the standard price given in the question? $1 per kg. Work out this. 9,800 into 9,800 into actual price will be 9,200 by 9,800. This will give us per unit cost minus $1. $9,199. I repeat, actual quantity of raw material used is how much? 9,800. How to find out actual price? 9,200 is actual cost. 9,200 is the actual cost. 9,200 is the actual cost for 9,800 kg. Wait, sorry. Work out this and tell me the amount. I hope some other amount comes. The value is 9,200 by 9,800 minus 1. What is the value of this? Why this is not coming correct? $600. It is favorable. Why it is favorable? Actual price is less than the standard price. Actual price is less than the standard price. Actual price is less than the standard price. It is favorable. Any doubt in it? Actual quantity of raw material used. Actual price minus standard price. What is actual price of the raw material, or you can say actual cost of the raw material? 9,200 is for 9,800 kilogram. Minus standard price 1. We spent less than the allowed, so it is favorable. Next, material usage variance. Actual quantity used is 9,800 kg. What is the standard quantity allowed for this? What is the standard quantity allowed for this? 1 kilogram per unit. 1 kilogram per unit. So, for 9,000 units into 1 kg allowed. 9,000 kg is allowed. Multiplied with standard price. What is the standard price? What is the standard price per kg? What is the standard price per kg? $1 per kg. So we used 9,800. We used 9,800, but allowed is only 9,000. Allowed is only 9,000. We used extra. We used extra. So 800 unfavorable. We can verify the answer also. Material price variance plus material usage variance will give us material cost variance. Material price variance 600 favorable. Material usage variance 800 unfavorable. So this will give us material cost variance net unfavorable. You can check this. Direct material 200 unfavorable. 200 unfavorable. Why? Because price variance we got a positive thing. Usage variance we got a negative thing. Net variance is what? Unfavorable. Net variance is which one? Unfavorable. That is what we have learned. Price variance plus usage variance gives us which variance? Cost variance. Next, we can work out which variance? Labor rate variance plus efficiency variance will give us labor cost variance. Try to work out this. $8,800 labor hours were recorded. 8,800 hours are recorded. Actual rate can be taken from here. Actual rate can be taken from here. 13,100 is spent for this 8,800. Minus standard rate per hour is given to us in the question itself. Minus standard rate per hour is given in the question itself. 1.5 per hour. $1.5 per hour. Actual rate we spent more than the standard rate. Actual rate we spent more than the standard rate. You can see the actual rate 13,100 divided by 8,800 will be more than this 1.5. Will be more than this 1.5. So it is 100. Sorry. Standard rate is more than the actual rate. Standard rate is more than the actual rate. Standard rate is more than the actual rate. So it is favorable. Work out this part and tell me. 13,100 divided by 8,800 putting in, you will get actual rate. You can find 1.4886 the actual rate. But standard rate is how much? 1.5. Did you spend more or less? We spent less. Clear? For this 8,800 hours, we spent 1.4886, that is actual rate. Standard rate is 1.5. So we spent less. When you spend less, it is favorable variance. When you spend less, is it favorable or adverse? Favorable variance. Then actual hours, 8,800 hours minus standard hours for actual output. Standard hours for actual output is 1 hour per unit. 9,000 into 1. 9,000 into 1. How 1? How 1? 1 hour. That multiplied with standard rate. Actual hours minus standard hours for actual output into standard rate. What is the standard rate? Multiplied with 1.5. You can see we have taken 8,800 hours, but we can take 9,000 hours. 8,800 hours only we have taken for producing. But for this 9,000 into 9,000 hours we can take. So we saved 200 hours. So it will be like 200 hours we saved into 1.5. It is favorable. So we can say verification we have done. Verification we have done. How to do verification? Labor rate variance plus labor efficiency variance is equal to total variance or total labor cost variance. 1 minute. What is the rate variance? 100 favorable. This is efficiency variance is 300 favorable. So labor cost variance is totally 400 favorable. You can check the question also. You can find labor cost variance is how much? 400 favorable. We compare the flexible budget 400 favorable. Please take it up. So I repeat, price variance, actual quantity into actual price minus standard price, 600 favorable. Usage wise we can see actual quantity used is 9,800, allowed quantity is 9,000. We used more, so unfavorable. Okay. 600 favorable, 800 unfavorable. Now net unfavorable 200. You can see the budget column also. Labor rate, we spent less than what is allowed. We spent less than what is allowed. When you spend less, it is favorable variance. Efficiency variance, okay, we can find, we have taken only 8,800 hours, but our workers can take 9,000 hours. We have saved 200 hours into 1.5, 300 favorable. Of course, rate variance plus efficiency variance will give us what? Labor cost variance. It's a verification. Maybe this part we would have done this as a verification in the individual variance analysis. Next. This is third and fourth. Yeah, I'm going dead slow, very slow, because you should understand every point properly. For variable overheads, do you remember? We can work out expenditure variance. Variable overhead, expenditure variance, or we can say rate variance. Variable overhead, rate variance we can work out. How to work out this? How to work out this? Any idea? Actual hours into actual rate minus standard rate. What is the actual hours? 8,800 hours actually we worked. Actual rate, how to work out, sir? Simple. Actual rate, variable overheads, 4,700 is for 9,000. This will give us actual rate. Minus standard rate is given in the question. Standard rate per hour. What is the standard rate per hour? 0.5. We spent this much. We spent this much, but allowed is 0.5. Allowed is 0.5. Allowed is 0.5. So will it be favorable or unfavorable? Unfavorable. So 8,800 hours into we spent more. We spent more. So it's favorable or unfavorable? It's favorable or unfavorable? Unfavorable. Or better to put 8,800, because avoiding fractions, 8,800 into 4,700 by 9,000 into minus 0.5. This is adverse or unfavorable. We spent more. Next, variable overheads, efficiency variance. Actual hours, 8,800 hours, minus standard hours for actual output. Standard hours for actual output, 9,000 into 1, multiplied with standard rate, multiplied with the standard rate, multiplied with what is the standard rate per hour? 0.5 is given. Standard rate is 0.5 is given. It will be like 200 into 0.5. Mirror mistake. This is actual output. How many units? How many units? 9,000 units. This is 9,000 by 9,000. 9,000, 4,700 for 9,000. That is correct. That is unfavorable. This is also unfavorable. So total, we can find three. Sorry. Wait, what? Then fixed overhead variance. Fixed overhead variance. You can check fixed overhead variance. Directly we can work out. How to work out fixed overhead variance? Actual fixed overheads minus standard fixed overheads for actual output. What is actual fixed overheads? What is the actual fixed overheads? In this question, what is actual fixed overheads? 4,900. 4,900. But standard fixed overheads for actual output is what is actual fixed overheads? 4,900. Standard fixed overheads for actual output is 0.5 into 9,000. That is 4,500. So 400 we spent more, that is adverse. 400 we spent more, that is adverse. So these are the variances that we worked out. Next, sales variances. Sales price variance. Sales price variance, how to work out? Sales price variance, how to work out? Same method. Actual quantity into actual price minus standard price. What is actual quantity sold? What is actual quantity sold? 9,000 into actual selling price. What is actual selling price? Actual selling price can be taken from here. Actual selling price 35,000 by 9,000. 35,000 by 9,000. Actual selling price is 35,000 by 9,000 minus budgeted price. Budgeted price is 10,000 for 40,000 na $4. 9,000 minus 35,000 by 9,000 will give us actual price minus budgeted price is $4. You will get 9,000. This is the price variance. Then volume variance, actual quantity minus budgeted quantity. What is actual quantity? What is actual quantity? 9,000 minus budgeted quantity. Budgeted quantity is 10,000 into budgeted price is 4. This is actually favorable. First one is favorable. This one is 9,000 we have sold, but actually we should have, but target is 10,000. Now 1,000 into 4, 4,000 unfavorable. 4,000 unfavorable. We sold lesser quantity than the budgeted quantity, so unfavorable. So here also you can do budgeted profit, add all favorable variances, minus all adverse variances, you will get what? Final variance. That I've shared the working, or I'll share the working, you can go through. I worked out in the classroom material style. So budgeted profit is 5,000. Budgeted profit is how much? 5,000. Where it is given, sir? We worked out the budgeted profit. Budgeted profit is 5,000. Actual profit is 3,100. Actual profit is how much? 3,100. So with the budgeted profit, add all favorable variances. Add all favorable variances, price variance, wage rate variance, efficiency variance. All these variances you add up, favorable variances, minus all adverse variances, you will get which profit? Actual profit. Like this, they can ask you reconciliation statement. They can ask you which one? A reconciliation statement in the exam question. 1 minute. So if you are thorough in these two questions, if you are thorough in these questions, same like reconciliation statement is same like this. Budgeted profit, add all favorable variances minus all adverse variances, you will get what? I mean, actual profit kind of a thing. So if you are thorough in these two questions working, I request you to recollect, rewind, replay. Okay, so because that is most important for your examination perspective also. Because in the examination, they don't ask you everything. They ask you only price variance or wage rate variance or variable overheads or fixed overhead variances like that they ask. Here we worked out all the components for a company. Once or twice they have tested an IMA question like this with all variances. With all which one? Variances. This is called as a tough question. Where you have to prepare the budget, you have to work out the variances, and you have to do which one? Reconciliation. So which is considered as a tough question in the exam. Okay, so I request you to try in our classroom model also. This is a logical model in which I worked out. Hope we have done this M1, M2, M3, M4 model, L1, L2, L3 model, VOH, VO2 model. That model also you can work out the same answers you will get. For example, material price variance 800. This one you can see 600, 800, 200 unfavorable. Labor rate variance 100, 300, 400 like that. Okay, so we can go through the M1, M2, M3, M4 model also. That is given in the form of working. Reconciliation statement also I'll share it in the form of working. Have we taken up this? Have we taken up this? With this complete section C is over. With this complete section C is over. In section C, what is covered is, okay, performance management. Performance management, majority of the areas are which area? Variance analysis. Apart from that, the sales forecasting, demand forecasting is there. Then, of course, that is part of section B. Then, plus your own balanced scorecard method. What is a balanced scorecard also we had seen in the previous class. With this complete section B and C is over, I request you to practice as many problems as possible, especially that essay type questions you can find. Section B and C combined together, so many questions are tested. That is shared already with you, essay type questions. So as of now, we can go through essay type questions are rare in section A, but frequently that is tested in section B and C. I've given the solutions, you must go through and practice.